Okay, y'all. 40 something. You just told me too. How long is it?
43.
43 foot. Winnebago. Today we're going to build some lines. We've got originally dryer. I don't even know if you can see me. Yeah, you can see me. All right, cool. I'm just talking out my ass. Dryer was missing, so I had trouble getting the right sizes for it. So what I did was I just cut the two lines off and got a new dryer. I was just under the back of the unit. We had to put in I had to crimp a line for the compressor, but these were the fittings that were on those lines, and I couldn't match these up easily to another dryer, so we cut them off. And we've got new ones here that we're going to go ahead and crimp on. So I'm going to show you guys how to build lines today. This goes for all vehicles. If you're doing hot rods and things like that. So this is our tool. While you're crooked. This is our crimper. We use these dies, which I'll show you once we get into it and we start putting these on. So first, let's get over here. So I finally got the proper microphone in place, so hopefully that works a little better. But here's our new dryer. There's our in. Our in's here. So our in is from this one here. So we need to get this bad boy mounted. Okay. So this is our outside. It's a number 6 line. So number 6 line, but I think this is a smaller barrier. So that'll go on there. We'll crimp that. We'll crimp that. We'll get that on here. We'll get this line mounted on there. And then we get this line mounted on here with these fittings. But we have to change the barrier size slightly here. All right, so crimper. And then this here. So this is either a number 6 or we could do a number 8. A number 8 with a standard barrier. I believe that's what that means. So typically you have a certain thickness of the exterior of the hose. And you have ones like this one here. Which technically is the same as that, the end diameter, but look how thick this one is. So we have to use a different crimper for this one than we do for this one. So this one, it's double barrier wall. I take that back what I said before. This is double barrier, that's single barrier. Right? No, maybe it's opposite of that. I don't know. Ignore me. All I know is that I need to crimp it on there. So that's what we're going to do. So we take these, place them in the tool. Take this, set her here. Okay, grab the right one. This is the number 8. Close it up. So then we just tighten this up and we squeeze. It's hydraulic. So make sure you're lined up good. And then there you go. That's how you crimp an AC line. Pretty simple and basic. Forgive me on what I'm saying about the SRB. I can never remember what that means. I want to say it's standard barrier, but I could be wrong because the ones I just used is a number 8, and it crimps that fine because of the size of the hose. Now, this one be a little bit different. This one, okay. All right, so I think I know now what it means. So this will do a number 6, and it'll do an 8 that has a smaller barrier line. I think that's what that means. So we're going to use the purple one now. I can't remember what all those things mean. I just know what I'm supposed to do. Tighten up the hydraulic. Line it up. Now, number 6s always look like trash when you crimp them. So ignore the way it'll look. Whew. That gives the shoulder a cramp. Hey. I don't. And that's it. Look at that. It's so pretty. Okay, so then now, this is why I say I know that. So this one has the same inner diameter as this one. So that technically would fit, but you see it can't fit over the barrier. So I just used the 8 SBR/6 for a standard 6. Now on this one, I'm going to use the 6 SRB, which is the single rated barrier, I guess. I don't know what the hell that stands for. I really wish I did. So let's take the purples out, put the black one in, and we should be able to crimp this one down perfect. Sorry, someone's running a pressure washer over there or something. All right. Hey. It's hot again and humid. Hey. Okay. And there you go. Perfect crimps. I love it. I love this tool. I love making AC lines. It's kind of fun because it's like you're building something from scratch. That's neat. It's not going to be fancy, but it's going to be functional. I think that'll work. Gonna reuse those screws. That doesn't hold at all. That does. Okay. All right. Now we got to put this one on. We're going to shorten that a little bit, I think. Maybe. Possibly. Nah, I think we'll be good. I don't remember the color I used last time, so I'm going to jump with the purple, I think. Yeah. Don't forget to line your fittings up, too. If you don't line those up, it's not going to do anything for you. You're going to have to cut it and redo it. Okay. All right, so O-rings. All right, we'll get a couple wrenches. Come on. Okay, that's better. It's got a little twist to it, but that'll be fine. Okay, so that's it. All right, so our next thing we got to do here is we got to get the trailer over here somehow. Okay, there's the trailer. There's the door. Oh. All right, let's see if this works. Hey, yeah, buddy, that's what's up. All right, we're gonna attempt to pull a vacuum before I waste all my nitrogen and put it in there. If we can actually get a decent vacuum pulled, then we'll do some nitrogen and see if we have any leaks. We'll let that sit for a while. But we're gonna test this first. See what happens. All right, let's let that sit for a minute and see if those gauges come up on that vacuum. We got to check those valves because we were holding vacuum before, but once I took the lines off, we kind of lost vacuum, so I need to check those valves. Let me show you guys this here. Put my trusty microphone near it. That was a good one. Right there, that valve's leaking. I can put my finger on it, and when I take it off, it sucks my glove into it. So definitely, that's why we lost our vacuum.
That's just air.
No, we don't put air in. We pull air and moisture out with the vacuum.
I'm trying to figure out what. So you're trying to suck the system as opposed to forcing.
Yeah, when we fill it, we force the Freon in
Right.
with the machine.
Right.
Other than that, the machine will suck out the Freon, or in this case, it's hooking up to the vacuum pump internally and pulling a vacuum out of the system.
So if there's a leak, you'd be able to keep pulling and you'd be able to tell the air coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
on a vacuum side, but sometimes you can get an O-ring that'll collapse when you pull a vacuum and seal itself, where it'll blow out on nitrogen. So that's why we do both. And we've got engagement. Oh man, that's a good freaking sign that the compressor came on. That's awesome. All right, so now what we're gonna do is get our temperature gauge. It's about 75-ish. Now this is the fun part. A little bit of Freon, until we get the right amount, and then we can be closing it off. All right, so we're right at 75 degrees. We're definitely running a little bit low. Again, the markings on the evaporator here don't have a listing on how much refrigerant should be in this system. So I have to go against what I typically say and figure it out ourselves by introducing a small amount of refrigerant here and there. So we started at 3 pounds because it's a big system. And now we are going to add a half a pound, let it sit for a little bit, and then see where our temperature gauge goes. Remember, we're not in traffic. We're not driving down the road or anything right now. So it should be fine, but we'll know for certain when they go drive the vehicle in a couple weeks if they're happy with it, especially sitting in traffic. We're under a shaded cover here, so we're just starting to sweat a little on the line, but not really a good sweat, kind of like that humidity sweat. I suspect this thing holds like 4 to 6 pounds, but I don't. Yeah, but it's like that hot sweat. It's not really like that brisk, like, you get a cold beer in your hand. That's what that's hot. That's a liquid line. That's a dryer. Yeah. Air brakes are full.
Yeah. That's the other thing they help me with that. But it's very lucky to piss. There's air pissing out all over the place. People say, oh, that's normal. I go to the other guy, he's like, that's not normal.
When it fills, it bleeds off.
Yeah, right.
But like that day we were sitting here, and I'm like, I can hear a leak. There's a leak somewhere.
Yeah, the guy told me that's right, that's okay. I'm like, the guy told the guy, no, it's not okay.
Yeah, not in the slightest bit. I had to get my Class B when I went my first job in the early 2000s was for Bell South, and they got bucket trucks. So I had to get my CDL B and learn air brake systems. They were fun, but I don't do that big giant work anymore. It's a backbreaker. I'm good. I don't know though. It's sweating really good. Why is this thing doing that? Maybe it's got a heat valve stuck on. Yeah, hang on a second. We're not going to do that yet. Let me go look at the inside. Where's that? There's a heat valve right here. Right here is a heat valve. Maybe it's stuck on, and that's why it's getting hotter in there. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Hang on a second. It's definitely all the way at cold, right? All right, I'm going to have you turn the cold to hot in a second. I'll put my hand up on the windshield. You moved it to hot? Did it like start getting hot? I think it's stuck on heat. Huh? I think it's stuck on heat. Turn it back to cold, and I'm going to take this actuator apart. All right, I'm going to take this actuator off of here, if I can, because it shouldn't be blowing. It's getting hotter and hotter inside there, and that makes zero sense. So, and this line and this line are pretty warm. So I'm going to pop this actuator off and try to turn it manually. Okay. Okay. So I just turned that valve. Let's see what this thing does now, temperature-wise. All right, so this actuator right here, I think you guys can see me. This is just a blend door actuator, and it's no good. So we're going to take it apart. Actually, I don't think I need to take it apart. I can just unplug it, stick it back on so it doesn't move this heat valve. Once I confirm that we're good on everything else. Where you at now? 88. I'm going to move this valve and I'll see what happens. Let me make sure I'm the right way on this. We're going to try to leave that on there so it'll not move on the customer. All right. That's done. Okay, so now I got to play with the pressures. I might have too much in it at the moment. At least we're back in the 70s, though. All right, so that means the heat was on, and now I got to play with the pressures from here. 70 what? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so now we got to figure out our pressures. Because, I mean, I'm still barely, not even at 200 PSI. So I'm going to try some more. Because like I said, I really don't know what this thing holds. What's that? 70? Okay. I'm going to go a half a pound. I may not have to do anything. It might just take a little while for it to get to where it needs to because that heater core in there is overly hot, and it's going to take a while for it to cool that down and then cool the vehicle down. But we will try just about a half a pound, so then we'll be at 5.5. And then we'll go inside and kind of just see what's going on at the moment. Because like I said, these pressures aren't really changing much as I put the refrigerant in, but it is a huge, huge system. We got 43 feet of liquid line and suction line to get all the way to the back where the compressor is. So that's a long time for the Freon to move through the lines. So it's a lot of line to fill up. So you got to think, this truck behind me, this basic F-150, it holds 2 pounds 10 ounces. Well, that's close together. So imagine how much this thing holds for how long of a line that is, and how big is the condenser back there. It's quite large. It's not like it's, tiny little stuff. So that's why I'm going with the fact that we probably definitely need to be putting a lot more refrigerant in there. All right. All right, let's let that sit for a minute. Let's go inside and see what it feels like and what our temperatures are. Oh, stuck in the store. Oh yeah, that's good. No, you're good. Oh gosh, it's flying out at me. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's about what I get out of a typical car when it's hot. All right. Yeah, that's 1,000 times better. Yeah, that definitely so there's a little actuator there that's just like all the other vehicles that are like under the dash that open a valve for the hot water to go through. So at the moment we're kind of battling that hot water to cool down on that evaporator because this has to do double duty. And now that we're down to the 60s, I'd say our pressures or our fill on the system is pretty good at the moment. Give it. All right, so right now this is where my pressures are sitting on this motorhome. It probably needs a slight bit more refrigerant. Lines are sweating good. They're cold. We've got 60 degrees out of the vent, and this thing's huge. So it's not like it's going to blow 50 degrees like some little compact cars where the air being recirculated is cold. This thing's huge, so it's not. Granted, it's under the cover. We probably have 80 or 90 degree air that's sitting in there, stagnant, not moving. So anyway, that's motorhomes. That's AC line repairs, building our lines, new dryer, new line on the back for the suction, and all this stuff up here. It's charged. We're going to let it run for now. We'll let the customer take it for a couple of drives this week because we don't know if there's any of the problems, meaning any of the leaks anywhere in this system. I highly doubt it. We've looked over almost everything on this thing. So other than that, I'd say we're good and we're done. And we're going to move on to the next one. So we'll see you guys later.